everyone, and welcome to the first in a series of instructional videos on how to use your new membership website. We're putting these videos together to give you some interactive instruction on how to use the back end of your membership website, how it works, how to view payments, how to refund payments, and how to manage subscriptions. But this first video is going to just be a quick overview of the different sections, what they mean, and how to, I guess, have a top-down view, a macro level view of your membership website. So the first thing is on the left-hand side here, we want to go down to the Memberpress menu. And under this menu, we have quite a different few options, but the ones that are important to you are going to be members, subscriptions, and transactions. Members are going to be all the people that have registered on your website, whether they've completed their payment or haven't completed their payment, they're active, pending, or refunded. They're all going to be under this members menu. Subscriptions are kind of like your reoccurring schedule, okay? And then the transactions are the payments themselves. So let's open this members menu up first. And here we can see a list of the members that are registered on our test website here already. We can see their email address. We can see if they're active or not active. And we can also see if they have a subscription, which means they're going to automatically renew. And we also see how many transactions they have. At the moment, there's only one transaction, but after their subscription renews, they're going to have multiple transactions. We can then see the membership plan that they're on. If your website only has one plan, they're all going to be the same. However, if you have two or more plans, each member is going to be on an individual plan here. We can see the last time they logged into your website, the number of times they've logged in, and also the value, the total value. So with only one transaction here, we've only got a low value. But as the time goes on, if it's weekly, monthly, or yearly, this value is going to go up over time as they keep renewing. And also we can see the original date that they registered, which obviously is today's date right now, August 28. Okay, so the second thing I want to come to now is transactions. We've got subscriptions and we've got transactions. Now, if I open up this transaction, this is going to take me straight into just this one transaction here for Sally. Now, a transaction is recorded in the system every time somebody processes their credit card, whether they do that themselves or whether the system automatically processes the credit card. But the transaction is what actually gives them access to the membership website. So over here on the right-hand side, we can see that this transaction was created on August 28, 2018, and expires on August 29, 2019. Now, that's because this membership plan B, has an expiry of 1 year, or a membership term or length of 1 year, so to speak. So this transaction is going to be more or less valid, I guess, for 1 year, because it's the transaction which grants them access to the website. So if you have someone who is complaining that they're not allowed to log into your website, the first thing to do is to check their transactions. You want to find them in the members menu, and then you click on the list of transactions, and you get a list here of all their transactions, and you want to make sure that there is at least one transaction which falls on today's date. Okay, so today is August 28, and we have one transaction here. But if I was to modify this transaction, or if today was say 2020, this transaction is no longer valid, which means that Sally will no longer have access to the website. Okay, now this brings me to the second point then, is okay, if Sally no longer has access because the transaction has expired, how does she continue to have access then? And this is where subscriptions come into play. So subscriptions are a schedule of when to recharge, rebill, or reprocess someone's credit card. Okay, so here we can see Sally again, and Sally is on a membership plan B, and this auto rebill is enabled. Now that means her credit card is going to automatically be recharged according to the terms set out in membership plan B. Okay, now at the moment this shows the same dates, August 28 to August 29, 2019, but on August 29, 2019 she's going to be automatically recharged again because that is the terms of membership plan B, which is a 1-year expiry. Okay, you can see the terms here, $50 per year, which means at the end of this period on August 29, 2019, she's going to be charged $50 to her credit card. When that happens, there's going to be a second transaction recorded in the system, and you guessed it, that transaction is going to be from August 29, 2019 to probably August 30, 2020. Okay, and that second transaction then gives her access to the website for an additional period of 12 months. Okay, and that's how essentially this membership system works. You have transactions, which are the individual payments, and then you have subscriptions, which are the schedule of payments that control the transactions. Okay. Now I want to show you one more section on this overview video, which is the Stripe dashboard. So Stripe works together in connection with your website to process all the cards. Now, we don't want to store any credit card information on the website itself because that's a risky situation. We don't want to be responsible for credit card information being stolen. Okay, so we give that responsibility to Stripe, and Stripe processes the credit card information. They record the cards, they store the card so that it can be automatically recharged at a later date, and they handle that risk with the bank for storing that credit card information. So on the side, if you click on payments, you can see an overview of all the latest payments that have come through on the website. So we can see Sally's transaction here. We can click on that, drill into it. We can see that her payment succeeded and the risk evaluation was normal. Sometimes you will get elevated risk elevation, and sometimes Stripe will actually block the transaction completely. When that happens, there's not too much that you can do. You can write to Stripe and ask them to review it. However, Stripe works in coordination with the banks, and if Stripe deems that this card is fraudulent or it's too much of a risk, Stripe isn't going to let it through their system. That can happen sometimes. For example, if someone is traveling, if you've ever been traveling outside of the country where you live, in another country, you try to use your card at an ATM and the bank blocks that card. It's because they consider this risky behavior and they're going to block that. And so Stripe has a similar behavior. But anything like that, you need to be emailing Stripe support and taking that up with them. As we come down here, we can see a little bit more about the cards. We can see which card she used. If the customer isn't sure which card they used, the last 4 digits are here, and you can use that. And you can see Sally's name. Here we've also got an address recorded for her. Okay. Now under the customers section here on the left, we can also open up Sally, and this gives us more overview information about Sally. So we can see that Sally is subscribed to Membership Plan B. This means that her subscription, as I said, is going to keep reoccurring every period of time that membership is set to reoccur. We can also come down, we can see the cards that are on file. Okay, so Sally has recorded her card, and this card is going to be reused every period of time that membership plan renews and another transaction has to go through. So we can then see the actual payments that have gone through. There's only one here right now, but let's say in a year's time, for example, on this plan, or it might be a week or a month, however often that reoccurs, we're going to see additional payments coming down here. And then we've got the active subscription. So I hope that really gives you a good overview of the membership system and the payments. Just remember that back here on our site that we've got members, which is an overview of all of the members on your website. Then we have transactions. Transactions are the individual credit card payment that gives access to the membership plan and to your website. So they have to have a transaction that gives access to today's date when they're accessing your website. Then we have subscriptions, which is the schedule of when to process or when to run another transaction through the system. So I hope you have a good overview here. If you have any questions at all, feel free to drop us a comment below. We'll get back to you. Otherwise, keep watching on for the further videos in this series on how to use your membership website.